Hey, thanks for joining us on YouTube. What are you doing across the land, and my stick is shot at hand.
Hi everybody. Okay, so this is an original G.I. Joe from the 1960s. And let me explain that and clarify something right off the bat. A lot of people always go, the 1964 G.I. Joe. Okay, so what I have to say about that is, September of 1963, Hasbro started making the G.I. Joe in all four branches. They raced like crazy to make the 1964 deadline. They got a patent finished by October of 1966. As soon as the 1966 patent came out, they had a patent mark labeled into the mold, and it no longer said patent pending. Okay, so the original G.I. Joes had this. It said G.I. Joe TM copyright 1964 by Hasbro with a registered mark, patent pending, made in USA. Later that part and the way this was phrased was written out differently. But this is on the back of his buttock. So wait a minute, let me back that up. So just for clarification, that means every G.I. Joe that you see that somebody is saying is an original 1964 G.I. Joe actually means that it could be a 1964, 1965, or 1966 G.I. Joe, since there is no definite information of any kind on the action figure telling you 1 year from the next. So therefore, all of them are not an original 1964 G.I. Joe. Just to verify that. Inside you have the G.I. Joe himself. This one is actually a Marine. He has two pockets. It's indicated in the very first G.I. Joes that were Army, that only would have no pockets on the original GIs. Now this one has double pockets, so that means this could be 1966. I do not see any clarification if that I know of that the Marines originally came out with the double pockets in 64 or not. So that's a tale to be able to be told by the clothing, but unfortunately so many people take the clothing off and change and swap out parts. I believe it's supposedly he had 21 movable parts. This G.I. Joe is unlike all the other ones. He had never been played with. When I came across him, it was at a convention many years ago, way back in the 1980s. He is with no cracks in his legs and is in the same position, shape that he was when I bought him. He is very stiff, and he is not fragile. He's been kept in the house. Okay, so what he came with, he did come with his cap, which was made green. I don't know if you can see it, if it's in focus or not. There it is. It is made out of plastic. He did come with his dog tag. All G.I. Joes came with an oversized dog tag. It is made of metal with the chain. This one, like I said, has two pockets on it. As far as the hair color, eye color, it changed throughout all the branches. There was no association at this point with any G.I. Joes being all black or yellow or brown or whatever color hair. They all had the different choices and eye colors. It didn't mean that you were of any branch. I see that a lot on eBay. He's a Marine, he's the Navy, he's, you know. No, that's not how, it's not identified by hair color. Then the boots came in many different colors because the different branches had many different colors in boots. Later on, mostly they were brown or black. There was nothing saying that they were made brown first and then made black later. No, that's not true. This is how the G.I. Joes came. And in it came with instructions how to remove the boots because the feet were a little bit of a struggle. The feet were a little bit of a struggle getting in and out, especially these tall boots. So they started putting these in, telling you how to use baby powder to loosen them up, and how to grab the foot by the toe, and how to push the back of the boot so the arch of the foot came up and you're able to slide the foot out, because a lot of people that had G.I. Joes, the foot would remain inside the boot. So that's why they came up with that. The other thing it came out with is the G.I. Joe equipment list, which has all sorts of other items that were for sale at the time. The different show cards that they had, showing you and getting you excited about the fact that they had so much to offer as far as G.I. Joe. You could see there was different packages that they had. I'll show you one of those in a couple minutes here. Another thing that they had was the Join the G.I. Joe Club. You could join this club, and it had the magazine, then the G.I. Joe Club paperwork that they would send you. So that would come with them. And here's an original price tag. This G.I. Joe, maybe this gives you more of an indication, because I know they were a little bit cheaper, but when he first came, this one came out with the sale price, and I'm not sure if this is from a store or what this is, just the way it's been in his box, for $2.99. Also, he came with some other parts, let me show you, that I actually have in a case, because he's kept in a case. Lots of stickers that came with him. This one here, which has the G.I. Joe, and they're like a paper with a coating on it. This is the G.I. Joe name tags and the mark of the rank, how many medals he has, or I'm sorry, it showed where he is in the military. Then there was this one here that came with him that had the different stripes to make him private, or whatever you wanted to do, and most people would put those on the arms. This would go on the chest. Okay, so then every G.I. Joe came out with a manual, whether he was Marine, Navy, Army, Air Force. They all came with this manual, and it showed basically their different poses of the G.I. Joe. So this is all original stuff that came with my G.I. Joe when I got him. Like I said, you can move them, pose them in any shape that you want it to. He was able to act, be whatever you wanted him to be in the military at this point. And he came in this open box like this, that you could actually look inside the G.I. Joes, because I'm old enough to remember this when they came out. You could actually go to a store back then, open up the box, take a look at him, see what he looked like. Was he wearing what you wanted? Was he the type of branch you wanted? Was he the eye color that you wanted? Hair color, what have you? And go, okay, this is the one I want, and you take him up to the cash register and buy him. Wanted all 4 branches out so that no one would steal their idea. And the patent went through because of the scar that was put on his face, because that was the only way that they could patent a human body. They had to have a scar, which made him more of a soldier, which is what they were looking to do. And they made the soldier up and put the scar on him, and that's how they got the patent on the body, which later saved them when people had tried to copy the G.I. Joe and make their own, because of the thumbnail that's actually on the back part of the thumb and the scar. So that's how they knew that somebody had copied them, and they won the lawsuit in that. So anyway, this G.I. Joe also came with different sets of different things that you could buy for G.I. Joes. Here's another one, different outfit. This one actually had black boots on him. It had the canteen. The canteen holder actually fitted over the canteen. That actually came in and out. Pretty cool for that time period. He has his gun holster and his gun with him. He had his backpack on him. And then this is actually a tent that is on this G.I. Joe. And all these accessories you could buy in little packages. Alright, so we're moving in. Okay, there's the original G.I. Joe. Here's the one that's been played with. You can see he has the darker hair to him. You can see a little bit more of his canteen and his ammo belt and his gun holster. This one here has been played with, and you can see how he is roughed up. I actually like him like that. There is ways of getting paint that they use that is the original vinyl paint and touching them up, but the paint is kind of expensive to get a hold of it. But if you have a lot of G.I. Joes and you want to touch them up, you can do it that way. Here's a little closer look at the difference in the boots. He's a little dusty, and this is one that's been in the case. And then he had these smaller boots that came out that are black, but they're shorter. They end right there. Let me give you a little closer look at the original box. You can see it has the details on the side, and then it has the G.I. Joe logo at the top, and this one is pretty good shape. You can see that, and inside the box you can see how the paperwork folds over it. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to share this with you. This is an original one from the 64, 65 era. This is actual G.I. Joe equipment. As you can see, it has this authentic equipment sticker on it. The field pack, and it said the name on it. This is actually a backpack. It has the shovel that came in this kit. Am I in focus? So let me make sure I get this right. There's the shovel, and then there is the pack that the shovel fit into that went on his belt. You can see the top here. The packs were originally used with metal rivets to hold it all together and put it on the shelf, and I put it on the stick on the pegboard. And here is the back part of it. It shows the mobile fighting man. And oh look, there's another catalog if you want to buy some more accessories. So yeah, this was a lot of fun to have to go with my original G.I. Joe. And I unfortunately have not come across any of the old ones. I've seen the new ones that they reproduced. But anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. This is something a little rare. The Thillo is pretty intact. It has a little part where it's kind of seamed together at the bottom there, and you can see how the cardboard is. But yeah, that's what they used to sell. That's how you got your equipment for the G.I. Joes once you bought them in that package. Okay, thanks so much for tuning in today. I thought I'd share that with you. I'm going to do more G.I. Joes, kind of comparing the old G.I. Joes with the new G.I. Joes, and show you the difference. And thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and leave comments down below. So long, everybody.